Deliver Us the Moon is a story-driven sci-fi thriller made by indie developer Kaioken Interactive. The premise is that in the near future, the Earth has depleted all of its natural resources and now gets its entire power supply from the moon. Until of course the power suddenly stops flowing for unknown reasons. With no way of contacting the base, you're sent up to figure out what's going on and hopefully save what's left of planet Earth. Okay, so I'll get this out of the way early. This game is like super pretty, as in there were moments when my mouth was on the floor at just how good looking this game is. And they've clearly put in a lot of work perfecting the atmospherics of the game. I mean, the sound design, movement, everything. It all comes together to a point where I can't remember a game that made me feel this much like I was actually in space, which is impressive from an indie developer. Hell, during that scene at the start where you leave Earth in the rocket, I was giggling like a schoolboy pretending to be an astronaut.
Okay, this is actually kind of cool.
This beauty does come at a price though, so you'll need a somewhat decent PC to take full advantage of it. My 5-year-old rig was able to handle the higher settings when I was playing by myself, but it really struggled to livestream it if it wasn't on its lower settings. As for the rest of the game, you'll spend most of it exploring the base and using your environmental problem-solving skills to proceed to the next area, all whilst piecing together what happened through documents, audio logs, and recovered footage of the previous crew. And at this point, I have to warn you that the game does not hold your hand. Your device will tell you what your next objective is, but there's no waypoints or hints of any kind. You're entirely on your own, just like you would be on the actual moon. You'll have all the pieces you need to proceed, but you're not told how these pieces are supposed to fit together, or even where they are. The game does do a pretty good job of subconsciously nudging you in the right direction through lighting and level design, but there were definitely plenty of times where I was wondering about not sure of what to do next. Similarly, the story definitely goes for show rather than tell, with some major plot points being revealed offhand in casual conversations. So like its environmental problem solving, you'll have all the pieces to figure out what happened, but you'll need to make sure you're paying attention so that you don't miss anything. Depending on who you are, you'll either find this kind of game design incredibly refreshing or really frustrating. And I gotta respect the developers for being brave enough to do it this way, but considering how many times I got myself lost, I'm starting to think that maybe this game was made for somebody who has a bit more common sense than me.
God, I'm a fucking idiot.
If I was to describe this game in one sentence, it would be something like Gone Home mixed with Journey, with most of the game focusing on atmosphere and exploration, both of which they do quite well. It's available on Steam for about $36 Australian, and it took me a little over 5.5 hours to complete, although a lot of that was just stuffing about. The price, I think, is a little steep, but I'll let you decide how you spend your money. It is also available on console, but I can't tell you what it's like since I've only played it on PC. So if you like atmospheric walk-em-ups and have a somewhat decent rig, then I think you'll really like this. If not, then maybe wait till the next Steam sale.
Sources seemed endless. But in 2030, the great energy crisis began.